What's going on, nerds? I hope you're having a good one. In this particular video, I want to get into the recent excitement in the world of crypto, more specifically how Bitcoin hitting $100,000 in 2024 is now becoming a real possibility. And on top of that, I want to get into kind of the enthusiasm in the world's newest meme coins. I want to talk about Bonk and Snek. Yes, those are the apparent names that they picked, but it doesn't really matter because those ones are absolutely ripping. So I kind of want to dive into what's happening there. Obviously, if you enjoyed this type of crypto related update, let me know in a comment below. Don't forget to hit the like button. With that being said, let's ride. Exactly 13 years ago, Satoshi wrote his final line of Bitcoin code. And from then until now, things have gone haywire. Obviously, Bitcoin still the biggest one, but we have Ethereum, and it's really an entire ecosystem right now. And I found some interesting facts and figures. Shout out to Pomp for posting this. Bitcoin and traditional assets, CAGR, just a measure of performance if you're looking at the compound annual growth. We will likely never see this type of dominance in financial performance again in markets. Compound annual growth rate of 53% for the past 10 years. So I get it. I understand that the market is volatile, especially within the world of Bitcoin, and sometimes that turns people off. But if you actually look at it in terms of an investor, like someone more of a longer term, like a person that's really not going to just diamond hand it, but like actually kind of understands what's going on in the industry and the necessary, I guess, aspect of our current monetary policy where the value of our dollar is going down, 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 and people want safe haven. But anyway, look what's been going on over the past decade. Yeah, S&P 500 generically returning roughly 10%, gold generically returning maybe just below 10, and Bitcoin, yeah, there was one negative year in there, but look at all these other years. The compound annual growth rate is 53%. It's not just a little bit better than gold, not just a little bit better than the market, but considerably better. Now, obviously, just because we saw something historically, does that mean it's going to repeat into the future? Not necessarily, but when you pay attention to what's going on with inflation or monetary policy and just the general political discourse right now, it seems like it might be a smart hedge to have a store of value. Now, with that being said, obviously, I'm not against equities. I trade them every single day, Monday to Friday, and I'm not even against gold. Right now, gold is looking pretty good. Not long ago, it hit a new all-time high. I mean, check this out. Gold price is $2,100 for a record high, and analysts don't expect it to stop there. And then I found this one to be particularly crazy. Costco sold more than $100 million in gold bars last quarter. So I'm not saying any of this to make it seem like one is better than the other. I just get a little sick and tired of, especially mainstream media, always saying like crypto's horrible, you got to stay away from it. No, there's many ways to make a lot of money in different markets, and I don't think you should just arbitrarily say, no, I'm not going to touch one or consider one at all because of a random thing you heard on mainstream media. But with that being said, obviously, for the point of this video and really what you're seeing in this column right here, I mean, crypto is crushing it. At the time that I'm filming this, Bitcoin is trading market cap $821 billion, currently trading just below 42,000. And if you ask me, it's looking pretty strong. We've had about 8 green weeks in a row now. So concluding 2023, obviously the Bitcoin bulls are back in town. I guess they were just hanging out with Santa Claus because it's ripping. And even with this, a little bit of a downturn recently from 45K, 44K to 42, doesn't bother me at all. Look at the EMA club. It's still bullish. I like the higher highs. I like the higher lows. I like the trend. In my book, I think this is a very healthy pullback. So not only are we seeing the FOMO and the excitement in the world of Bitcoin's price, and yes, I do want to get into how there's a very real chance it hits $100,000 in 2024. But first, check out this particular story. Bitcoin NFT hysteria comes to Sotheby's as Super Mario style mushroom character tops 200,000. You heard that right? I guess NFTs are back on the menu. In the historic auction house first ever sale of ordinals inscriptions known as NFTs on Bitcoin, a batch of 3 pixelated images from a mushroom themed collection drew $450,000, or roughly 5 times the highest estimates. Yes, NFTs are back. the first ever sale by Sotheby's of quote-unquote inscriptions created using the Bitcoin blockchain's Ordinals protocol from a pixelated collection known as Bitcoin Shrooms drew around $450,000, or 5 times the highest estimates, potentially revealing a mainstream fervor for the tradable digital images colloquially referred to as NFTs on Bitcoin. The auction consisted of 3 of the images, including a pixelated avocado that fetched more than $100,000 and a design that appears to have derived from a mushroom in the Super Mario franchise that sold for north of $240K. There were 148 total bids across 3 lots, and more than 2/3 of all bidders were new to Sotheby's. So yes, a lot of money, new people, overall just excitement. There are quote-unquote plans for more soon, Parsons wrote in an email. There's a debate raging among Bitcoin users and developers over whether to filter out transactions in NFT-like inscriptions minted using the Ordinals project, since there's not a core financial use in keeping with many advocates' vision from the original blockchain. So the idea that some of the images might be considered high art could tip the scales of the debate toward profit interests. The 3 digital images from the Bitcoin Shrooms collection of Ordinals inscriptions by the synonymous artist, cleverly named Shroomtoshi. The digital avocado known as BIP39 seed was initially tipped to draw 20 to 30,000, but it ended up selling for just over 101,000. Folks, personally, I think that's jaw-dropping. I'm really not the biggest fan of NFTs that don't have any extra utility on top of it. That's just my opinion. We all watch how that played out in the past, but really, I'm sharing this story with all of you to show that yes, excitement is evidently coming back into the world of crypto, and it's not just the upward slope of all the prices. Speaking of upward price movement, have you guys seen what's going on in Solana? Year to date, Solana is up 665%. In the past month alone, up 34%. Currently trading at 76, recently having a breakout. Similar to Bitcoin, the cloud is looking very, very strong, but it doesn't stop there. Sales of Solana phones surge as traders chase bonk arbitrage. Bonk phone, who dis? If you don't know what bonk is, it is, I guess, most popular dog-based coin on Solana. So historically we had Doge, we had Shiba. So this is another dog-based meme coin, but it's built on top of Solana, not some other one. So anyway, very, very popular. I mean, you can see Bonk itself in the past 7 days is up 136%. And here's part of the reason why. The once struggling Solana phone is turning into a sellout, and the meme coin Bonk is almost certainly the reason why. Arbitrage traders appear to be chasing a $30 million Bonk token airdrop that's available to every owner of the Saga phone. At current prices, that much Bonk is worth nearly $700 for a phone that costs $599. Saga sales have 10x in the past 48 hours, and now we're on track to sell out before the new year. The euphoria around Bonk, Solana's dog-themed equivalent to Dogecoin, has led to a turnaround story for Saga, which just 1 week ago faced dimming prospects amid forgettable sales figures. Saga is a blockchain-enabled smartphone with special features for storing one's crypto securely on the phone's own hardware. According to the post on the Discord server, the Bonk airdrop is available to those who download the Bonk app from Saga's Crypto Forward custom app store. When you physically have the phone, you will be able to mint a quote-unquote Genesis token through the dApp store. This token is eligible to claim the Bonk drop. The Bonk drop is not forever. At some point, that promotion will end. The user whose screen name is Jack said in the Discord, as of right now, the claim is live and is up to the Bonk team when they want to close it. No end date quite yet. I currently do not have Bonk. I have no plans of getting this phone. I'm more so just sharing the story. But yes, we have another meme coin that's ripping. The recent listing on Coinbase helped it. Do I think it's actually going to slow down anytime soon? No, because it's not yet listed on Binance, and I think that'll just be, once again, representing more demand. There is the demand, it's just those buyers on Binance don't have the ability to buy it quite yet. So I do think it's going to keep going. I don't own any. I'm not going to be chasing it. If anything, when things get sky high, I personally like to wait for a bit of consolidation. But hey, I'm not your mom. Do what you want with your money. But remember, whenever you're putting your money on the table, you have to be prepared for it to not come back. We've seen the high flying action of this type of stuff before. Yes, you can make a lot of money very quickly, but it cuts both ways. That also means you can lose a lot of money very quickly. So please be careful. Now, Bonk isn't the only one that's going and going and going. SNEC, a Cardano-based coin, is now really starting to pick up. Over the past 7 days, up 65%. So I just want to point it out. I don't own any of it. I just want to let you know that this is clearly news, because those types of movements in such a short period of time obviously is going to draw some eyes and some excitement. I want to let you know that it's meme-esque, so obviously be careful. You can make a lot of money, you can lose a lot of money. I just want to cover what's going on, because obviously these returns are astounding to say the least. And that leads me to the key part of this particular video. I want to talk about gains, but we're not talking about bonk or SNEC. We're talking about the granddaddy of them all, Bitcoin. Where can it be going in 2024? Well, according to this analyst, that answer is over $100,000. 100K Bitcoin. Don't undervalue Bitcoin ETF influence, says Adam Black. Resolving recent systematic failures in the cryptocurrency ecosystem and the prospect of a spot Bitcoin ETF approval could drive Bitcoin to $100,000 in 2024. Now, before we get into it, I would love for you to pause the video and let me know your thoughts below. Is this just too much excitement, too much hope? Or do you think this is actually mathematically onto something of just representing limited supply, more demand? When that happens, price goes up. And obviously don't forget about the expected halving that should be coming once again in the early part of 2024, along with the anticipated approval of the spot Bitcoin ETF. The Rona period, rampant inflation, and regional conflicts directly influenced Bitcoin's drop in value over the past 2 years. However, 2024 promises to be a resurgent period, according to the Blockstream CEO, Adam Back. The cryptographer who pioneered the proof of work algorithm applied in Bitcoin's protocol tells Cointelegraph that the preeminent cryptocurrency is trailing below the historical price line of previous mining reward halving events. If you don't know about it, roughly every 4 years, it's really every 210,000 blocks, the reward for basically solving a very difficult math problem that ensures the viability and security of the ledger, it gets cut in half. And that should be happening in about April of 2024. The last few years were like biblical pestilence and plague. There was the Rona period, quantitative easing, and wars affecting power prices, inflation running up people, companies are going bankrupt. Or to put that another way, things were pretty rough and crazy over the past couple of years, so it's no surprise all markets took some sort of hit in one way or another. Fortunately for us, that is now seemingly over. Obviously, fingers crossed, but makes you kind of wonder, if that never happened, where would things be at now? The wave of the contagion and companies that went bankrupt because they were exposed to 3AC, Celsius, BlockFi, FTX, that's mostly done. We don't think there are many more big surprises in store. Once again, definitely fingers crossed type of a situation. The Blockstream CEO previously predicted that Bitcoin would hit $100,000 in the next market cycle and referred back to this point. He believes BTC would have hit the mark already if not for the macro factors highlighted before. And part of the reason is actually this BTC, I guess, almost logarithmic scale of what's going on in just the normal 4-year cycle. And you can see how it's kind of panned out in the past of when we're this far, or I really should say this close to a halving. Well, look, has historically, what has happened right after? Huge push in price, huge push in price, huge push in price. Now, obviously, just because we saw something in the past, is that a guarantee it will happen in the future? No, but in the market, doesn't matter what market you're talking about, no, we know history doesn't repeat, but the saying is it does often rhyme. So just something to consider in this particular circumstance. People thought it was a bit of a crazy assertion that we might hit $100,000 pre-halving because I said it when the price was around $20,000, but time and time again, we are seeing a lot of high-flying targets in the world of crypto. Everyone laughs at it, says it's crazy, and then it happens, and then they kind of do some sort of like awkward backpedaling. Anyway, so that's something to consider. Halving, that will be happening in 2024, and then hopefully also in 2024, a spot Bitcoin ETF approval. And obviously, this is not only regulatory clarity for the world of Wall Street, but it's also more highway on-ramps for simply more people to put money into crypto, because now they can easily do so without having to figure out how to open a whole new account, control their own wallet, that type of a thing. So what you're looking at here is history potentially playing out again with the halving, that technical cycle, but then also just clear catalysts representing higher demand. And when they put that together, multiple people are calling out $100,000. I think Bitcoin could hit $100,000 even before the ETF and before the halving, but I certainly think that the ETF shouldn't be undervalued in its influence. So I put those two together from this article, and I think that's a well-stated point. But I would love to add a third one in here. If you watched the whole hype cycle a couple of years ago, hype, FOMO, is a very real thing. So So as things start to go and these key levels to the upside are taken out, aka a breakout, I think more people will FOMO in, and then you're going to see the velocity pick up even more. Now, with that being said, just from being a technical trader, do I think it's good to chase at those levels? Absolutely not. But it's just what we've seen in the past, and I do think it's going to happen again. But no matter what you're doing, no matter what market you're talking about, as always, you obviously have to be respecting your risk, paying attention to reward, make sure in its appropriate ratio, and watch how that all plays out. Being a technical trader, I obviously wouldn't chase those breakouts because it's an unfavorable risk to reward ratio. I like to see strength and then a bit of a pullback, some consolidation. I call that like kind of a healthy setup, and then a continuation for there. The way I look at the markets, and this is just me, obviously do what's appropriate for you. The concept of just simply chasing, it doesn't seem to pan out too well for too many people, but obviously those are just my own thoughts. Do what is appropriate for you, your account, your risk tolerance, yada, 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 all that good stuff. Well, anyway, that's what I have for you in this video. Looks like $100,000 might be back on the menu for Bitcoin. And obviously we have excitement in the world of other meme coins. So good luck if you're playing them. That's what I have for you now. I'll catch you in the next video.